I don't know here. Find something to watch.
I'm not watching Baby Peggy.
I'm not either. I was flipping. It just up. If it's up to me, I'd watch this. We let children eat under wired snakes.
With a beautiful young Surinamese red.
Testing out the Poise Ultra Thin Pads. Dancing is a great workout, but ever since I had my son, I struggle with leaks when I'm jumping around. These stay-in-place wings help.
I was on my phone early before that. That's why I told you to pick.
Exercise chest, Poise Ultra Thin Pads. Try Poise Ultra Thins.
No, I haven't.
Heading over to Kurt's right now to see what he has. Relaxed a little bit. I think maybe for the snake education, we'll show him, but we're not going to let him handle this one. He's not aggressive. He's very defensive. He's good at being defensive. Kurt, hold on, listen though. Here's the difference, Kurt. If he was aggressive, he'd be chasing after you. All he's doing is when I come up to him, he's going to strike at me because he sees me as a predator. Right? That's defensive. And he's good at being defensive. Right? But aggressive is he sees you and he runs after you. They would never do that. Right? A snake would never do that. No, they would never chase you. Absolutely not. So what we're gonna do is put him in a bag, or actually we're gonna let Dave film with him, and then we're gonna let Dave film with this one. I always say that a non-venomous snake bite is never really a big deal, but it kind of is when it ruins your shirt. When the snake bites through and it gets blood on your shirt, then it's a bigger deal because then you gotta buy a new shirt. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal. This is a large boa. He bit me in the arm. It doesn't hurt, but it does bleed. So, dang. I know, buddy. We're going to get you in a bag, and you're going to be much happier. I promise. I promise. And until then, we'll just let you do your thing. How about that?
He's a really good backward slitherer.
If I slither away slowly, nobody will notice where I'm going. So we're buying that red-tailed boa from Kurt, and we're going to release it. In contrast, here's an emerald tree boa that we're also buying from Kurt. This is a snake that has been worked with for a few minutes, totally handleable, totally cool. Now, out of the wild, we're dealing with individual snakes. These are wild snakes. You kind of never know how a certain snake is going to react. However, what I've found and what Amy Bentley has found with these emeralds is that if you gently work with them for a little bit, super defensive, do not want to be messed with. They're going to make all that noise. They're going to strike like crazy. These guys will strike a little bit up front, but once they realize that you are not a predator, they calm right down. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, I think we have a couple of these. Amy, do we have a couple of these that we're buying from Kurt, or just this one individual? Okay. We got this, and then we have the Amazon tree boas, and they're a whole different personality too. But these, especially northern emeralds, have a reputation for being super bitey. You don't want to mess with them, and I believe they have that reputation because people don't work with them because they do have very big teeth. They have much bigger teeth than that boa that just bit me, and you don't want to get bit by one. It kind of would hurt. It's not going to send you to the hospital, but it would hurt. And because of that, I think people are afraid to work with their snakes to calm them down. But we're working with wild animal. It's not illegal in Suriname to do that. This is something that these people do. It's one of the few things that they can do for money. And so there's nothing nefarious going on, but we want to try to take as many of these snakes as we can while we're here and just interrupt the export process and get them back out into the wild. And that's another thing is, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're just supporting the practice by giving them money for this. You shouldn't do that. These snakes are not in the market yet. They're just in the export process. So they will all be sold. They'll all be, the exporters who buys them from the middleman or the hunters, trappers, and he'll always buy the snakes. There's no question as to whether these snakes will be sold. So it's not a market situation. It's not like a store where if you support the store, that just makes them buy more snakes or whatever. It's not that situation. These snakes are currently in the export process. They will continue going through the export process. We're just interrupting it for these individual snakes to release them. Unfortunately, this one is already promised to somebody, so we can't interrupt it for this snake, but the other ones, we're going to. So this is a little northern emerald tree boa that we got from our friend Kurt, who's a middleman. And this was brought to him by a trapper or maybe somebody who just found this little snake. And this is under a year old, but we're seeing some green in the reds. So I think he's starting to... Look at how handsome this one is. Good way to carry.